Grace, you want to say hi? Fireside chat with Gracie and me, Katarina Satori. Hello, beautiful soul. We're just spontaneously logging in to see who is going to be here at night in the evening of our time. We're by the fireplace, all cozy. Hi, everyone. Let me know in the comments where you're joining us from. We are here in California. It is winter, very mild winter. And I wanted to bring this just a gentle contemplation about the gift of challenges in our lives. Yeah, challenges are a gift. When we are walking our path dedicated to our growth, our evolution, right? Our transformation, we see challenges from a different perspective. Beautiful fire for you. Very, very different perspective, right? Because when we understand that life is happening for us, that life is benevolent, the universe is benevolent, then the challenges come to us for a very specific reason. And there are these cycles in life. There are cycles of expansion and there is a cycle of contraction. And there is a cycle of integration between those expansion, contraction cycles. So when you are in what looks like a contraction in your life, maybe the revenue that you used to generate in a very specific way just stopped flowing in your life, right? Maybe there is some unexpected change that you are being challenged by. Maybe there is some challenges with health or with your family members. What is the purpose of those challenges? I often contemplate on that because I am not a stranger to challenges. They have been coming to me from a very, very young age. So, I love tea. I've been enjoying tea on a very more frequent basis. So let's talk about challenges. And of course, I can't help but to bring you a message from the Gene Keys, which I'm a big lover of that wisdom stream. And the Gene Keys gives you a map of your consciousness and a map of very specific codes and keys that you can activate to live your life with a flow and beauty and grace. And the very first teaching of the Gene Keys is that challenges help us evolve. Challenges come to us to accelerate our evolution. Take this in with me, beloved soul. Next time you're going through a challenge and your conscious mind wants to understand why this challenge is knocking on your door, why this new storm is at your door, right? And my answer, based on deep, deep life experience, a challenge comes to strengthen you. A challenge comes to help you unlock the power within your soul that you have not unlocked just yet. And the challenges teaches us to trust the bigger plan and the intelligence of the universe that is embedded in all things. And how we're gonna move through the challenge depends on the key factor. Yeah. And the factor is our attitude. Are we able to bow down to the challenge and to open our heart to it and to welcome it, right? To the best of our ability, because there is going to be days where this will almost feel effortless. You know, sometimes you're in such a receptive relationship with life, a challenge comes and you are able to open yourself to it and to receive the lesson, right? And other times, maybe you feel undernourished and under-resourced, and meeting a challenge requires all of your strength and all of your faith, right? We've all been in both of those situations. And maybe when you are going through a process of a challenge, I am here as one of the many messengers to bring this encouraging message for you. Yes, Jenny, hi. Surrender is such a strength. You know, to me, a surrender is a true sign of a strong spirit. Our ability not to fight what is arising, but our ability to witness it with love, and to also lean on all of our tools, right? So many of us will love the spiritual tools. We'll love finding new ways to calm the mind, expand the heart, be more fully in the body. And I find that in the times of challenges is when I test, when I see my own embodiment in the times of the challenge, right? I can really see, oh, this is where my consciousness is really at, and my way of embracing my curriculum. Another way I describe a challenge is a part of our life curriculum. How we dance with the challenge, how we move through it, how we interact with it. And I often lean on the wisdom of I Ching, which is a very, very ancient book and a transmission that comes to us from ancient China. And the I Ching teaches us about the cycles of life, right? They're impersonal cycles, meaning if you're going through a challenge, what are the chances that the entire life is going through a cycle of a challenge, including you? So it's not just you going through a challenge on a personal level, but entire life going through a cycle, right? A challenging cycle. And we're doing it together. And when I remember that, it gives me a new strength. It gives me a new sense of fortitude. I really love that word, fortitude. Fortitude is deeper than just strength. Fortitude is something that you get to tap inside, right? And just tap into the reserves of your soul and move through something with unwavering faith and unwavering focus on the vision, on a bigger future that you are being prepared for. Every challenge is here to strengthen us. Every challenge is here to accelerate our evolution. And every challenge is here to help us unlock a new kind of power, new kind of soul gifts that we are not able to unlock in the time where challenge is not present. And soon, what I observed, soon you begin to move through these cycles with equanimity, a cycle of expansion, followed by a cycle of integration. Then, a cycle of contraction will come, followed by a cycle of integration, and then cycle of expansion, right? So these are natural cycles. And when I learn to see them and learn not to panic, but learn to practice my equanimity, one of my favorite expressions that I remind myself is that during the time of expansion, I remind myself to double down on my humility and on my gratitude and on my devotion to my spiritual disciplines. During the time of contraction or a challenge or a difficulty, I remind myself to double down on gratitude, humility, and my spiritual disciplines, right? So eventually what we want to arrive to is to be immovable, right? Not to be knocked out from our center by the different cycles of life, but being able to stand in that stillness, the stillness of trust, the stillness of clarity, and the stillness of equanimity. And what always assists me to move through any challenge is this incredible pathway called service. When you step in service and offer your gifts in service to others, you actually being lifted by spirit of grace and carried through your challenge. Because even when it's challenging for you, you find strength and you find commitment to still step into service and to offer your gifts in the service to humanity. You are being given support from the invisible world, from the world of spirit. Just a great, great reminder. Challenges are not here to punish us, right? A cycle of contraction is not a punishment. There is nobody punishing us in this universe. But a challenge is given to us to mature us, to strengthen us, and to accelerate our evolution. When we remember that, we can move through anything with presence and with inner smile. This is just a gentle reminder for you, my dear ones. Remember, challenges are a gift and a sacred teachers and a sacred messengers. Just how, when a storm comes when we observe the weather, and when the storm comes, we understand it's simply a part of nature to have a storm, right? Or to have rain, or to have big winds. So it is in our life. We will have storms and we will have rain in our life. And our ability to dance with the storm, to trust that it's impermanent, that it will pass, right? And we will greet the sunshine again. So hopefully this metaphor brings a little bit of encouragement into your reality, no matter what you navigate, no matter the challenge you are meeting right now. And if you are being challenged in your spiritual work, because a lot of my community is just filled with my fellow light workers and spiritual entrepreneurs, if something in your business just suddenly stops working, right? Here's an encouragement for you to read the deeper message. The deeper message, it's an invitation from your higher self to expand into a new line of work, into a new service, into a new way of offering your gifts, right? And a lot of times when we resist the change, or we avoid, or maybe we fear trying something new and we want to stay with what's familiar, our higher self will put the foot on the gas and accelerate that process. Right? It will put the foot on the gas and says, hey, you've been on this level for a little bit too long, my friend. It's time for you to expand and to innovate. And of course, it's very understandable that innovation will feel risky to you, right? I consider myself an ongoing innovator. I consistently take risks. I consistently take leaps forward without any guarantees whether it's going to work or not, simply being guided by my faith and by my intuition. But it never failed me, if an energy stopped flowing at a particular area of my life, to me it's a message. Change direction. Open yourself to a deeper assignment, right? There is more courage that being invited from me. And that is why it's happening. So having conversations with my community, was talking to somebody who is finding herself facing an empty coaching practice. And I know that experience. I talked about it on my last free event that I hosted, Teach and Prosper. So if that is happening, right, it means you're being invited in a new way delivering your work. And the strength of your business lays in your ability to make it diverse. Not only have one channel through which abundance can come to you or in which you can serve, but really diversifying yourself. And when you diversify, it's gonna feel risky, right? You're doing something that you haven't done before. But I promise you that experience, even if it feels risky, it also has a possibility to give you a new sense of aliveness, Because every time you do something courageous and novel, you're tapping into this new wave of energy, a new way of dynamism, a new way of this boldness. And that's going to give you a sense of renewed purpose, a sense of new enthusiasm. And then you're going to discover new gifts that you are not able to discover by doing something that is familiar to you. So just a little encouragement. Change is always for evolution. You know, when you befriend change and you make it your ally, because as we know, change is the only constant in this universe. Everything else is impermanent. Everything else is fleeting. So this year, I encourage you to reimagine your relationship with change, right? Reimagine your relationship with unknown and befriend it. When you make that new pivot within yourself, that unknown is filled with possibilities instead of unknown is filled with terror or anxiety or insecurity. Unknown is filled with new possibility. The less you know, the more beautiful your adventure is ahead. So I hope this share gave you just a little bit of encouragement to welcome your challenges as great gifts that arrive to your door. And if you look back in all of your experiences, you will see that whatever looked like a frightening change or unexpected twist on your path actually turned out to be a really beautiful blessing, right? It's always like that. It's always like that. So now our curriculum is to welcome change with an open and willing heart so much sooner, right? That is the sign of maturation of our consciousness, our ability to trust life unconditionally without any insistence of particular outcomes, but really trusting that the universe has this beautiful, beautiful path to help us accelerate, help us grow, and help us serve in a new, fresh way. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you, and I hope you welcome your challenges with an inner smile.